All right, so now I want to get top 3 drivers who you think have the best odds or chances to win, and then I want you to give me a dark horse, someone not many people might be talking about, someone that he's a big name, but he's had a bad year that could sneak back in there. Who do you think's gonna win the whole thing?
I think Ryan Blaney's shown that he can repeat.
He's biased.
I really that, a little bit.
Phil won it last year, so it's like, why can't he repeat? He should be able to.
All right, so Ryan Blaney.
I like Ryan Blaney as one of them.
And Kyle Larson, I mean, he can win in anything. Put him in. I mean, you could put him in a boat race and he'd probably win that. So.
I would love to see it.
That'd be cool.
I believe you, honestly, but I would love to see it. I'd be so down. Get him in here. I'd be down.
And how can you pick against Tyler Reddick? I mean, he proved all year that he was
fair.
He was the most consistent. So
yeah, I mean,
if he can back that.
Yeah, it seems like those two, the Larson and Reddick, are like the 1-2. I mean, like you said, Larson probably would have been the regular season champion. Obviously, made the decision to go to the IndyCar or whatever.
Indy 500.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, you don't probably get too many opportunities to do that, so why not? But those two guys seem like they were the most consistent. Where did Blaney finish in the regular season points?
I believe he was third.
So you're just going top 3, which I love because they probably have the best odds. Okay, now I want a dark horse guy. Who do you think?
Well, people that don't watch the sport as much as I do won't really appreciate this, but I think Christopher Bell.
Ooh, DeWalt guy.
I wouldn't even call him a dark horse. I think he's perfectly capable of winning.
Mm-hmm.
He's won at the Roval before. He's won at a lot of these tracks that we run on. In the playoffs, I think Joe Gibbs Racing. I mean, he's got good cars. I want to throw one more in there. I think Martin Truex is going to be a factor in this.
Is this last season? Yep, I was going to say he's going to go for it all. Yep.
Look at this big fan over here.
Hey, I was on the phones a lot at NASCAR.
I know you were on
people
the
I talked to.
phones
I remember a lot from that time. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I think Truex is going to give it one last fight. I won't say he's the favorite, but I'd say those two Joe Gibbs Racing guys were teammates.
I like it.
Well, it'll be fun. Excuse me. It'll be fun because so I'm looking at the standings now because I'm curious. So you were not wrong. So Larson, I don't know if this is right. I'm looking at it on ESPN, so I could be completely wrong. Larson got first.
Yeah, that's wrong.
No.
Okay, so this might be last year's. This says 2024.
So
Cup Series standings.
Yeah, that's what it's. Yeah.
So maybe
go to NASCAR's website because I did the same thing.
Okay, so it hasn't updated yet.
Yeah. So it has Reddick in third, which is not right, but
interesting.
It's so weird. Yeah, you have to look at the
playoff standings.
I don't know. I swear I looked at this earlier and it was so messed up, and I was like, "This makes no sense." It doesn't surprise me.
This is very, very NASCAR.
But
yeah, because they all still have Larson at one, so they must not have updated it quite yet.
Yeah.
Because I believe Phil 110%. Because it does say.
I definitely saw an Instagram post. That's got to be true.
I could believe
right.
You. Because
everything on Instagram
it looked like
perfect.
Bell's up in that kind of top 5 finishing of the regular season points. So is he probably a dark horse because he's not the big name? He has a couple wins this year, sure. And then to me, you have guys at the bottom, like you said.
Hey, I'm still running in the race.
My guy is too. Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs got 16th. That was my guy when I picked him at NASCAR. But you look at these names. Huh?
Hey.
If you would have asked me top 4, William Byron would have been in that 4.
Look at that. I made it.
So
my appearance.
But you look at this too. Like, I mean, again, not being a big NASCAR guy. 15. I mean, this is from whatever. This is not updated. But Truex Jr.'s in there. Alex Bowman's in there. Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Hamlin, Keselowski. These are big name guys that even I really know, to where they're in that kind of lower half that could. I mean, they're good drivers and they've won it. Some of them have won it before. A lot of these guys.
Logano won it 2 years ago.
Logano won it. I believe Elliott's won it. Keselowski's won it. I'm guessing Hamlin's won it.
He hasn't. He hasn't won a regular season, but I don't think he's won a championship either.
Hamlin's been in the sport. This is his 19th year in the sport, and he's missed it a couple times very closely.
Is that the championship or the regular season?
Both.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was his first regular season championship. Even he's an owner, but he hasn't done it as a driver either.
So he's in full try-hard mode still.
Believe me when I tell you, just because I didn't mention Denny Hamlin's name didn't mean I don't think he can win it. He definitely can win it.
Yeah, and it's nice too because I feel like you have some younger guys like Ty Gibbs. I know is a young guy. Harrison Burton. I don't know.
He did win a race. He just won the Coke 400.
And then you have Briscoe. Even Daniel Suarez is in there. Cindric. I know some of these names, but a lot of these guys are new names, which I think makes it even more fun for the sport because,
Heck yeah.
Your Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, your Kyle Bushes, Ricky Stenhouse. I'm just going through names I know off the top of my head.
Stenhouse won the 500 when we were still there.
Jimmy Johnson, who I know obviously doesn't race a lot anymore, but just some of the bigger names that are in the sport are not in the championship or the playoffs, which to me makes you see that, like Phil said multiple times to me, you get a different winner every week. It's a different 16 every year. It could turn into be 17, 18, 19 guys get a win, and now you have to go off of points, and then it can get kind of more funky with this, which I think keeps the sport more entertaining, keeps you on your tone. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's what you've seen when we were down there, and a little bit before, you kind of have seen that revitalizing of NASCAR where it kind of was down for a while, and now it's really starting to come back. So I think it'll be cool. I have no idea who's going to win. I would probably say Byron because he won it last year, and because Phil and I go
Blaney,
against him.
But...
Oh, is it Blaney? Well, I'm going with Byron, so get wrecked. This is how well I know NASCAR, guys.
I got a fun question, though, Phil.
Oh, here we go.
So MLB announced recently they're going to be playing at Bristol next year. Thoughts?
You said baseball?
Yeah, so the Reds and the Braves,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure are going to be playing at Bristol Motor Speedway. What do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't be down to. I'd be down to go.
I think well,
sure.
if they can sell 100,000 tickets, I'm
that would be pretty dang.
I mean,
cool.
I know they're not going to be able to fit 100,000 people in there at the stadium, but I would be down to go.
You remember what happened? When the college football went there?
I have no idea. When did they do that?
Virginia Tech and Tennessee played there in 2016. They played a college football game there and had I want to say more than 150,000 people.
Oh wow!
I mean, I could see that.
That's cool.
It'd be interesting because obviously football you can just kind of put straight in a line, and baseball you have to build that field.
You can't really go. Well, you can. I mean, you could sit behind the dugout. People do it all the time. I mean,
no, you could. I'm just saying it's there's a little bit more build.
If you're sitting behind home plate and then you have to watch center field, it's like a mile away from you. That's not going to.
And then there's a lot of fun. But I think it's a great idea. I think
it'll be cool.
You've seen a lot of sports trying to do this now, with sports changing into different into different sports and getting into different stadiums, getting global. I know NASCAR has other series that are global.
Mexico series.
I've been waiting for NASCAR to say, hey, we're packing up and we're going to go race in Mexico, or we're going to go race in Canada, or do something different. Now, I know, Phil, all America, but it's
they've raced in Canada before, though, haven't they?
But that's
hold on.
Okay. Okay.
The
schedule came out. They are going to Mexico City next year.
Oh, Kellen breaking news he didn't even know about.
Even though it was posted, Kellen's a scam artist.
I don't follow NASCAR. I worked there for a little bit, and that's about all I know about it.
It's 10 groups.
But that's
don't
cool
know
to me
anything.
because
consumers just so much better.
That's cool to me because that's how you're going to grow the sport. And obviously, you do have a very big NASCAR following. Racing is big in Mexico. I know that, and obviously you have Suarez, who's a big name in the sport. I mean, he's not the best driver, but he is, I believe, from Mexico, and he is.
That's how he came up as the Mexico series.
Yeah, so it does show you that the sport is still growing there. But I think it's cool. It'll be interesting. I believe the first race, Phil. When is the first playoff race coming up?
Is it this week?
Sunday. Atlanta.
Sunday in Atlanta. Who do you think is going to win it? Just give me a random name out of just anyone. It doesn't have to be a playoff one. I want to know anyone you think who won. Did they already race there this year?
Look, here's the deal. It's just like Daytona and Talladega. It's a drafting track. They reconfigured it to it's basically a speedway race now. So anybody could win. Who am I going to pick to win there?
I believe
anybody.
It was Daniel Suarez, right? He had that crazy victory there this year.
It was 3 wide finish, and it was
wasn't it like a centimeter or something? Yeah, it was early in the year.
Wasn't it the closest race or finish in NASCAR history?
No, that was at Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Idiot, not a real fan.
Oh,
consumers are so stupid.
I still this guy,
all right,
this freaking guy. Who invited him?
I think it'll be really fun.
Nobody invited him. He just shows up every week.
He just
unannounced.
He doesn't talk.
Just
talking.
comes upstairs.
I think it'll be really fun. Like I said, I think we're gonna do this weekly.
What a guy.
We're gonna do this weekly now with Phil. We're gonna try to talk to him each week about the race, what his kind of thoughts are. Some episodes might be a little long. We might have some, bigger news things to cover. Some of them might be a little shorter where it's just, hey, it's a clean race and so-and-so won and so-and-so's moving on. But I think this is an audience we do want to talk about. We want to learn more about it. Phil obviously knows way too much about it. So we'll be bringing him on quite often, at least weekly. But Phil, thank you for this week.
Heck yeah.
We will see you next week for hopefully a good race that you can talk about Atlanta. And then we'll continue to get you on here, all the way through, what is it, November something, I think is when the final is in Phoenix. So we will be having Phil on quite a bit. So get used to his beautiful face, because we are excited to learn and talk a lot more about NASCAR. But Phil,
Go fast, turn left.
thank you, and enjoy your night, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, guys. See you next week.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Kind of Athletic podcast. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials and come back next week for next week's episodes.